Good morning, all. Jane Voneman-DuPerow here, psychic and medium, intuitive life coach. Today I'm going to be talking about how to take a severe trauma in your life and turn it around so that you're not stuck in victim mode anymore, and you turn it into inner joy, happiness, and fuel it for success in your business as an entrepreneur. So, first of all, I want to tell you my story of everything that happened to me in my life. So when I was younger, I survived trauma from an early childhood experience. And I basically was touched by a man that was a pedophile when I was 5. So I innocently did not know what was going on at all. And then I was a double survivor of a woman, a young girl, age 10, who also molested me when I was only 5. So right off the bat, at innocent age 5, I was taken advantage of and had a traumatic experience and didn't know exactly what to feel. I had trust issues with people. I didn't tell my parents because I was afraid. And I just thought this was normal. This is what people do. So then, hence, growing up at about age 15, when I was in high school, I was really, really afraid of the movie The Exorcist at the time. And I thought that it was going to happen to me. That's because of how low I felt about myself at the time in my life. I had no self-esteem. I had no confidence. Everyone was happy and joyous running around high school early on in their sophomore or freshman year, actually. And I was feeling very low about myself, insecure, and feeling different than everybody else. At the time, I did not realize it was because I had gifts, psychic gifts, but I ignored that. So went on to be very afraid and stuck in that energy for a while of fearing that I was going to be possessed by the devil. So then going forward, I went to college and never really had a sexual experience with anybody. So thought I better because, hey, I'm at college and I'm a virgin. I never had sex. So I had sex with a total stranger. I got really drunk and that was it. My roommate and I were like, okay, now we're done. We experienced that. We're not virgins anymore. So we thought that was great, right? Then walking around the campus where my parents paid for my college and I was supposed to major in speech therapy, I didn't go to any of my classes. I got very depressed. I only went to my art class. I felt really, again, low about myself. I drank a ton of alcohol all the time and proceeded to drop out of college and then go into the regular workforce. So I became an administrative assistant in the workforce. Well, then I started to meet what I call my bad boy phases. I met a guy who was very, very low, bottom of the barrel, alcoholic, very evil, actually. His name was Rob. And I was out with him one night drinking, and he was drinking also very heavily and smoking marijuana. And I made a false judgment, and I gave him the keys to my car. And he drove, and we got into a car accident, and I lost my spleen. But before that, I had been in the stripping industry because I felt so low about myself that I felt like the only worth that I had was to feel sexual, to look sexual in the eyes of others. So I made money off of perverted men coming in and sticking dollar bills in my garter. Well, that empowered me somewhat because I'm like, well, at least I can do this right. And I did make quite a bit of money. But all the while experiencing a ton of pain inside internally because really knowing deep down that I was way better than that. Way better. And I deserved way better than that in life. But I picked bottom of the barrel men because, one, I was a binge drinker. I drank a ton of alcohol. So I didn't make correct judgments for myself. Two, I had very low self-worth, very low self-esteem. So this is my, you know, emotional story of growing up not knowing any better because I was mistreated at a very young age, at a fragile age of 5, touched by someone in my privates. And a 5-year-old has no clue, you know, what to do with that. Oh, and by the way, also my cousins died. So they were in a car accident when I was around 10 or 12. So I didn't know how to process that grief either. So I had a lot of stuck grief. So in my adult years, after I became 18, I drank and drank and drank and drank. And I partied and I took some drugs. And, you know, that was my way of coping. And I hung out with my boyfriend at the time. And then I got pregnant. And I proceeded to get pregnant and use pregnancy, or I actually used abortion as birth control. So I didn't know any better, and I had 4. I had 4 abortions. I survived 4 abortions. The reason I'm telling my story is because I was so screwed up in my life. And then I took more drugs on top of it, medical pharmaceuticals, and had a near-death experience where I saw an angel in the ambulance. And that's when I finally started turning around and I got the aha moment in my life. Now, it's really hard for me to come forward and tell this story right now and be honest to the whole public about, you know, because, you know, people could look at me as really bad for saying all these things that I did in my past. But the reason I do this is because if I can help empower one woman out there to be able to know how to survive her trauma and her abuse of things that happened to her when she was young, then I have made an impact somehow in the world. Hi, Servant of Mars. Thanks for joining me. So I'm getting a little verklempt today and very emotional because I survived a hell of a lot of pain in my life, but didn't know what to do or how to process it. So I stuffed it and buried it. And then later on in life, it came out as huge bouts of depression, actually suicidal depression, anger, and what they call quote unquote bipolar disorder, which of course you're going to be bipolar when you have all these shifting of emotions going on constantly and not knowing how to feel. Absolutely, mental illness comes from being a child survivor of abuse and trauma. So everyone that's, you know, coming out in the world with, you know, that Kanye West is bipolar, and you can bet that he survived trauma. In fact, he had stated that his father wanted to abort him and that his mother did not abort him. So he wouldn't have been alive today if his mother chose not to abort him. Now, I had 2 wonderful children after that, after my 4 that I lost. And the reason I'm coming forward and telling this story is because if I can save one woman from future pain and grief that she literally felt like she killed her own beautiful children that would have been her beautiful daughters, you know, because I was scared that my father was going to kill me. I did that. I terminated my pregnancies because I was afraid to go home and tell my dad at a very young age of 18. I didn't have any outreach, any outlets to tell people, wow, can you help me? You know, I just knew that if I went home and told my dad, he was going to kill me. So hence, you know, and I'm not blaming my dad at all. He did his best. My dad did his best in life. I do not ever want to blame my dad because I love my dad very much, and he is on the other side now. And he would be very proud of me, probably for coming forward and telling my story. It's hard to tell my story. I get emotional. Excuse me. And this is hence why I clear my throat a lot, because I still sometimes self-sabotage. I take supplements sometimes that still mess with me, and if I could have a clear day where I'm feeling really good and I didn't take anything, I'm like, hey, why don't you stay like this? Why do you keep self-sabotaging yourself? You feel so good today. Why do you want to take some more supplements? But I keep thinking, oh, well, because they're going to clear my liver, they're going to clear the toxins, whatever. So I also had a supplement addiction to vitamin supplements, which always made me feel sick. It's because I chose to still want to stuff and bury and feel sick and self-sabotage myself. So anyway, hence my story. Now, all the trauma that's going on in our world lately has, I'm very extremely sensitive because I'm an empath. So with the racism, the people that hate the president, the corona COVID-19, the stories coming out of celebrities, all the celebrities that you trusted and loved, all of a sudden they're saying they're pedophiles and everything. This severely traumatized me, severely, because I was already a trusting person. I love watching movies with Tom Hanks. I love Oprah Winfrey. I love Madonna. I love what else did I forget? Ellen DeGeneres. And, now none of those people committed those crimes. I want to tell you that right now. Before I go forward and tell you more of my story and how to turn your life into success if you're a victim of trauma, if you're a child survivor of trauma. I did the cards on it. And I asked if each person was guilty of that, and the cards said absolutely not. No one like Oprah Winfrey or Tom Hanks or Madonna or the other one, Ellen DeGeneres. They are not pedophiles. I can guarantee absolutely the truth because I got the truth with my psychic gifts. Now, what I didn't say is that what all this trauma did to me is it turned me into getting my God-given psychic abilities and gifts. But I had to work hard on myself. I would go do vision quests with the Native Americans, fasting. I trained with the top-notch psychics of the world. I traveled, I meditated, I ate the right diet, I did the Taekwondo and got the yellow belt, and I did all the things that I was instructed to do, but I still had lodged pain and grief that was stuck. And I've just come out of a bout that I've had bad experiences with people that I thought were really loving towards me, and it's like right now with the lineup of the way the stars are, it's because all those deep issues are being triggered again to see how I feel about myself. How we feel about ourselves is everything, because when we feel a certain way about ourselves, then we're going to emanate that vibration to always in that frequency to come to us. Like, oh, well, they don't love me anymore. I feel bad. Well, you're going to cause that to happen because that's a feeling. So instead of saying that feeling, state another feeling and feel different and change your mind right away and change your thought pattern and say, everyone loves me. Everything I touch is a success. I started doing that, and I started looking in the mirror daily and saying to myself, I love myself. Now, I know I'm here early and I have, excuse me, some sound going in the background because I was listening to Tony Robbins, who also gave a talk and inspired me today to tell my story. Now, how other people react to my story is another thing. How people react to your meaning well. Some people can misunderstand you, and a lot of times I'm very misunderstood by some people. My good intentions, people could react and turn into bad, and maybe it's because I still had stuffed, buried anger. And, so we have to look at ourselves and say, okay, what is the emotion, the core issue that I'm trying to heal right now? So on my journey of healing and recovery, I have really recovered. And then when my gifts come in tenfold through the recovery of my alcoholism, my sexual whatever problems that I had by taking lower, being addicted to love and men who are bad for me. and negative thought patterns, which even still can be addictive too, and always lashing out at others, or feeling insecure and gossiping about others and talking about them behind their back because they triggered an issue in you to come up and you just needed to vent and talk it out with somebody else, of, that you were concerned about them. And, people take things and they distort things and they twist things. We can't help what other people do or react to us and our good intentions, but all you can keep doing is helping others and setting good intentions. And helping, it's like mentoring people is the number one thing. If you want to start being successful in a business or being successful in your life, is giving yourself to others in a way that you help empower others. So what I started thinking was, I'm going to help victims that were human trafficked, and I'm going to empower them by hiring them for my company. And this was a thought that I just had recently, and I'm going to follow through on that thought because I feel like I can really relate to those people because they went through similar traumas that I had in my life, because I more or less feel like at one time I kind of trafficked myself because I was a stripper in the industry. Excuse me. And this was a long time ago when I was in my young, 30s, and I'm way older now. So the reason I come forward again is to have the courage to even tell this story, is because I think that when we tell our stories to people, they can see that our stories helped us so much, because it helped somebody else who might have been struggling through the same thing, but realize now that I have a life that I really love. And I do very well, and I have inner success. It's not really about, inner success is not about what kind of home you own, how many beautiful cars you have, how many friends you have, how much money you have. Inner success is just about loving life every single day and walking out on the earth and just feeling good about yourself and loving yourself completely. And, for people that are always hurting inside, self-sabotage constantly, and they always go out and they cause their own pain. And that's what I used to do. But I'm learning, even at my age, why have I been causing my own pain? Why have I been causing my own self-sabotage? Why do I keep feeling low about myself in vibration sometimes? I'll wake up one day and I'll feel depressed. Well, it's because of my addictions, and even addictions to supplements. And because, I have a minor subtle disability because I have lost my spleen in a car accident. But so I have to be careful. I can't drink, and I can't even socially drink. And a lot of people in the world socially drink. But I have turned this around and made my pain, I took it and I fueled it into success for myself. So now I'm going to be answering some questions and doing some readings for people. I don't even know if I'm going to keep this video. I might erase it afterwards because I worry about, oh my gosh, what if somebody that knows my mother might see this video and she will be very upset. My mother and father are very good people, and they never did anything bad to hurt me. But other family members did, and it affected me. And when you're a fragile age of 5, but I don't want to keep stuck there either. I need to turn the story around and not be stuck. So when we get our grief stuck in our chakra system, and this is what I have here, the photo of the chakras that line up. It's like, this is our crown chakra. This is our third eye chakra. The color blue lights up. Then we have green is really the heart chakra, which should be here. And root chakra is red and orange. And yellow is solar plexus chakra of the stomach, the digestive issues. When any of these are out of balance, we're going to feel it. So I have a lot of clients that come to me. For instance, I had a client yesterday that came to me and he had a very bad hip problem, but he was only 50 years old and he was scared that his hips were going to have to be replaced. He was going to have a major hip replacement surgery. And I asked him what kind of diet he ate. And he said, well, and he told me his diet. Well, he ate a lot of white flour and sugar in his diet. So the two things that can really help you be more successful in life is to take alcohol out of your diet, to take white flour, and to take white sugar out of your diet. Because if you're still stuck in negative, lower vibrational thinking, then these things are going to fuel it. Even the white flour and the sugar are huge fuel for your brain to feel low vibration about yourself and to feel afraid, or to not like think clearly and register clearly the truth. So really registering clearly the truth would be sitting every day and meditating and eating the right diet. Because the truth is, like, there are so many distorted conspiracy theories out there in the world that if we believe them, then we're also feeding the fuel of the negativity on the earth plane. And we really want to light up the grids and make the earth plane a good place by us sharing the light to others. So this is what I'm doing today. I'm trying to share my light, not my dark. But we have two sides too. We have the dark side and the light side. We have to honor both. Our shadow self. I'm doing shadow work right now in my life. I'm honoring my shadow side of self. And I'm appreciating her too. Because that little girl was deep, stuffed, and buried. My 5-year-old little girl. We have to go into our little girl or a little boy and say, what are we feeling about ourselves? Why have we felt like this for so long? So, for releasing it is walking out into Mother Earth and asking all your ancient ancestors and all your spirits around you that love you and Creator, God, to take it and put it down into Mother Earth. And just keep asking daily for all your character defects to be removed. And they will be. How I react is key. I'm having a bad hair day today. How we react to others is key. If I react to others out of hurt and pain and insecurity about myself, then you can bet that I'm going to cause drama or something negative to come to me in the universe, because it's like the force be with you, gravity and feelings are everything about your energy field. So if you wake up one day and you feel like, oh my God, I'm a win-win today. This is going to be an amazing day. I love myself. Look at yourself in the mirror, go to your altar, do your altar work and stay grateful. See, I married grateful. I'm married to grateful. I'm also married to my husband, but I mainly went out and I got myself a ring. I got myself a clada. See my clada? This one. It's about love, loyalty, and friendship. Love, friendship, and loyalty. It has a crown for loyalty. Or wait, no, the hands are loyalty, the heart is love, and the crown is friendship or something like that. I can't remember even what the clada means, but I know it means love, friendship, and loyalty. And the reason I married grateful is because once a teacher told me he married grateful. And I thought, what a great idea to have a ceremony to marry grateful. If you can stay grateful every single day for what you have and not complain about people and not gossip about people, then you will have all these like circuit boards change around you and your energy field will totally change. It's hard not to do that. It's hard not to complain daily about other people, because some days somebody could trigger something in you that is a deep fear, and then all of a sudden you're going around and you're telling other people what that person did to make you afraid. It's very hard sometimes. Hi, Shar. Good morning. Thank you for being here so early with me. So I just spoke about how I survived, for all of you new who are newly joining me, how I survived childhood trauma and years of self-sabotage and abuse on myself, and turn it around to fuel more of my inner power and inner success and career success. I've done thousands and thousands of readings and helped thousands of people. I've written a book called Tune Into the Magic Within. It's sold through Balboa Press. And my book mainly states about, there's so many things, a full moon meditation, carrying totems for success, power colors, what power color to wear for the day. Like on Monday, should wear red, or, something like that. Wednesday is yellow for illumination. Black is Saturday. And even the story about Amanda Berry, who I worked with the detectives on the case of the Amanda Berry 3 girls missing in Cleveland. I tried to tell the detectives where I felt they were located. And I was accurate on a lot of things that I told them. And so out of my pain in life came my success and psychic abilities. I even got the Pick 3 lottery numbers right one time. It's written in my book here. That I just asked my spirits, what are the Pick 3? And you can purchase my book, Shar. If you go on, you call Balboa Press and you ask for Tune Into the Magic Within. I do believe there's a website for Balboa Press, but I think it's on Amazon too, because I think Balboa Press put it on Amazon. So just type in Tune Into the Magic Within by Jane Voneman-DuPerow, and that's how you spell my name, Jane, Voneman DuPerow. I'm gonna type it below. I do ship books out to people. So if you private message me by email and you say you want a book, I sell my books for very cheap. I sell them only for $12 because I just want to get the word across to people. So I don't sell them for outrageous prices. So Lady Butterfly 1059 at Yahoo. If you just text me actually, you can text me, 440-787-4595. This is my cell phone number. I know I shouldn't give it out on social media, YouTube like this, but I am. You can call me and I'll just ship it out to you, and you can pay me through PayPal, $12. And my PayPal is ladybutterfly1059 at yahoo.com, my PayPal link. Because I have literally like 12 books just sitting there right now in my reading room that I'm ready to ship out to people. So you can just give me your address and I'll ship it to you if you want to make the purchase. And, I can just even ship it right now, and you could pay me, I just try to help people. So even if you want to pay me in installments, it's fine, whatever. $12 is not a lot of money. So it just basically tells my story about how I was born in Springfield, Massachusetts on All Hallows Eve, the day before, at midnight, the day before Halloween. And I was brought up in a Catholic family, upper class, middle class family, and but had some deep psychological issues as a child. And how I came from all that to being a very successful person who now stands on stages as a medium and delivers messages at huge venues like Pickwick and Frolic downtown Cleveland. I've had my name on the marquee and lights, a huge marquee in the city of Cleveland, Ohio, and it's been very rewarding and successful. All the things that I took a little afraid girl and turned her into a keynote speaker to help empower others. And now I'm going as far as to, really help. I want to help human trafficked victims. This is my new agenda, because I do feel like I can relate to them. And I understand when people have trauma, and sometimes people's trauma is so deep and stuck that it takes them a really lot of inner work inside to figure it out so that they can climb out of it. So, but the gifts that come out of it are huge because, one, you're very intuitive. All children who were traumatized do some type of splitting where they do like an astral projection or astral travel out of their body. So they kind of have an out of body experience. It's called splitting. The personality goes into splitting. Some people can actually develop multi-personalities disorders, but I didn't develop that, thank God. Not that I'm putting down or judging having multiple personalities, because those people were very severely abused as children, usually, those people who have multiple personalities. But usually what happens with victims of sexual abuse when they were young is they end up as adults having bipolar mental illness. And until they know how to heal it with proper diet, meditation, and sorting through the emotions through counseling, they can finally get to the root of their core and pain and then release it. And they're pretty much healed of, they will always have to work on it and work on their triggers daily, because people can trigger them. A lot of people, need to like be alone a lot, like a cat just goes into a room and just needs a lot of alone downtime to heal. So this is the year for a lot of people to heal, because we have been in a quarantine. We have been on, people are working virtually. People aren't working around as much people. This is the year for the world to really heal. And this is why so many of the issues are coming up right now in the world. The racism, the accusing celebrities, huge celebrities, of being pedophiles, blatant lies, really. And, just conspiracy theories, there's conspiracy theories that totally, people are not living and seeing truth. But because I'm a psychic and medium, I understand the difference between truth, or I understand the difference between dark and light. I understand when something doesn't feel right to me, and I understand that we need to take a look at that feeling and observe intuitively that feeling of why something doesn't feel right to you. It feels very uncomfortable, what people are going through in the world and seeing in the world. It's bringing up a lot of discomfort in people right now. On a higher level, we can morph through that and just observe it as just a feeling, but not judge it. So if you allow something to just be a feeling, but not judge the feeling of, oh, I'm hurting inside because this person hurt me, just allow the feeling to be just a feeling, and then don't react. That's the key, is how we react to hurt of others. I do admit that I have reacted wrong at times to hurt from others. I didn't perceive it right. So later on, then it can be healed after time and separation between people. So, okay, who has a question for me this morning about any thing they want to talk about? Because I have my phone. I was going to do a YouTube video after this. I was going to try to channel some spirits. I mean, not YouTube, Facebook. I have the roofers coming today to do my outside of my house, which I'm excited about, because it's a great company called Newcastle Roofing. I might as well give them a plug too, although they'll never know if I did because they don't watch my YouTube videos. But I just like to help small businesses. Here's an experiment you can do today. Go downtown to your local place downtown where you live, your big city, and if you live out in the suburbs, just travel a little bit today and go down and give the homeless people a can of soup with a plastic spoon. They will never forget you. Or give them, don't give them money, because a lot of times they'll just go out and they'll spend it on alcohol. But, some homeless people are not alcoholics. They're mentally ill. And I did this and I called it the butterfly effect, because I was named in a Native American ceremony and I was named Lady Butterfly. and somebody higher up suggested go downtown and feed the homeless and give them lollipops, things like that. Just lay them down for them in the streets. And I was like, oh my God, what a good idea. I swear to God, it was so empowering and so healing. I cried emotionally that day, tears of joy, because I felt so good. and it was just like, wow. And then I got a call from Forbes 30, and they said they saw my video that I went down to feed the homeless, and they really liked that. And then I got noticed by Ashton Kutcher, because he was in a movie called The Butterfly Effect. And so now I have, Ashton Kutcher's phone number, and I can text him anytime. We're on a community text, but I have his connection right here. You can see there's Ashton right there in my personal contacts. And I just texted him recently, and I said, thank you. You made me see the light. He also formed a company called Thorn, and he helps Thorn helps create software, raise money for developing software that helps save human traffic victims. So the software is given to like the intelligent FBI to help track human trafficking rings faster. So they developed the software, the company called Thorn, Thorn. If you want to donate any money to Thorn, even $5 would be appreciated. Just go on their site, Thorn, Thorn, on their website and press the donate button. Because I told myself that I would like to help Thorn because Ashton Kutcher formed this company. And Ashton Kutcher has helped me in my life. I don't even know if he knows how much help he's given me. He told me about Acorn, how to start an IRA for myself through Acorn, how to take spare change through Acorn. I really watched him and observed him, how brilliant and genius that this man is. Not to mention really good looking. Mila Kunis is very lucky, but it's not an attraction to Ashton like that. It's more of an attraction to look how brilliant and genius his mind is, how much he helps other people. Because he went on Shark Tank and he told about investing, and he told people how to invest. So that, and he inspired me because he went from, being on that 70s show to, making a huge success out of himself in the movie industry by really focusing on his acting skills. Now, I have walked that journey myself. I have been an actress. I've been in many community theater for 6 years. I have been in the movie Sherry with Tom Holland, who is worth $6 million. And the reason why I say all this is because I was inspired by those people, because they walked on their journey and they worked hard. And, they just learned. I mean, if you can read like 5 different books in a week, you can expand your mind to be genius. And I've had so many amazing experiences in my life. Why? Because when I was 21 and in college and afraid and drinking a ton of alcohol and then becoming a stripper at a strip club, I wasted all that time and energy that I could have been home being sober and learning and meditating, needing the right diet to heal myself faster. But I always had a dream about being in the movies and being an actress. And here later in life, lo and behold, at this age that I'm at, I was able to be in a movie. And I'm still taking parts through a casting company. I have another part that I might be taking soon and get paid good money for it. So that's the other thing I do besides doing the readings and helping people. I'm an intuitive life coach. I do celebrity predictions. I called myself the psychic paparazzi at one time when I was younger, and you can watch all my past videos. And please watch all my old videos when I first started out, like over 10 years ago. I was very young then, and I was very quiet and didn't know really how to do YouTube, or didn't know how to feel on YouTube. But now I love doing YouTube because I help empower others, strangers, Positive for Life is here. Thank you, Positive for Life, being here. Thank you, Shar, for being here. Thank you, Servant of Mars, for being here. Because all of you people that, come here regularly and listen to me, I really appreciate you guys. And I send you great love. It's 8:32 in the morning. That's really amazing that you're here with me at 8:32 in the morning. So I hope this talk really helped inspire you. I just want to show you how successful I feel I've been. And not to brag about my success either, just to tell you what I came from to what I have now. There was an article, I was featured as a medium in Avon Lake magazine, the city where I live right now. I took this picture on a very cold day. It was like 0 degrees outside in the winter. In my little garage that I first started working in, my husband built a little room in the garage, and I was doing readings in the garage. And this one girl came to me and got a reading for me, one of my clients. She's one of my favorite clients. And she flung off her chair when I told her to show me something about a pig. And here he owned a restaurant that had a hog on the outside of the building, and it was a barbecue something. It was called Pig something or Hog something. And I said, well, your father's in spirits here. So then I really started to know that I had accurate psychic gifts, and I was really channeling the spirit world. And anybody can do it, because when we're babies, we're born in the alpha state of consciousness. So we're already connecting with spirit as a baby. And then, but what happens is when we go to grade school and things, it kind of takes down our intuitive abilities, because there's just so much falseness in the world sometimes. And, I should have went to my mom should have put me in Harry Potter School of Magic. That's where I would have really got straight A's, but I didn't. So in regular grade school, in history class and math, I got D's and F's. And I felt really low about myself because all the other kids were getting straight A's and really smart and catching on very quick. And I was like, why do I have such insecurity and lower self-esteem? I look back now and I think, why did I feel so low about myself? And why didn't I learn very well? Well, I had issues with learning. I had issues with, learning disability when I was a kid. I think it was personally from the shots that I had, because I was sensitive, because I'm really sensitive now. And the dentist letting me play with balls of mercury, because they used to do that in my day. The dentist would put little balls of mercury, and we would go, wow, and cool. And here all that mercury was seeping into my system and making me not think clearly in the brain. My mom didn't know any better. She's just like, take them to the doctor, give them all these shots. I'm very sensitive. So I might have had a reaction to those shots, because I remember having a very high fever as a child. And my dad had to hold my arm the whole time. And I was I was somewhere else, and I was sweating, and I had 105-degree temperature. I could have died, from this shot that I had when I was a kid, like my measles, mumps, and rubella. But they didn't know, and it could have done something. It could have done something and damaged my brain, possibly. But excuse me, I could have been a lot more genius. Who knows? I could have went on to get straight A's in school and straight A's in college. But maybe those shots damaged me. But my parents didn't know any better. They just did what the government told them to do: give me the shots. So I'm just saying, the sensitives of the world are the children who develop, autism from shots, because they're allergic. And then that mercury just stays stuck up there in their brain. But that's a whole other subject matter. I didn't want to go into off that tangent. Oh, thank you. Isn't it interesting? I'm so glad I'm okay. I'm really okay. But it's okay not to be okay too. Because I went through years of, having to go into a psych ward even to figure out what was going on with myself. Because I was suicidal and ready to slip my wrist a couple times, because I was so empathic, so hurting inside, so much pain, so much grief. If you watch the whole video, you'll understand my whole story of where I came from, who all of you who newly joined me. And yes, I'm glad. I am so grateful for my life right now. So I hope this helped you, empower you today. I have to go now because I hear the roofers are here. So they're tapping on my roof up top, and they're giving me my new roof. So I got to go out and talk to them. Thank you all. Love you all for joining me. Thanks for being with me today. I hope I inspired at least one person or many. Have a great day.